Set up a GoFundMe page.
Yes, if you want to set up a GoFundMe page, I need to raise £20,000 to buy my MC.
So that's 10,000 from each viewer.
I mean, if it's one person, it doesn't need a GoFundMe page.
Look, we'll put some sad music in the background to make it sort of like... Only £10 can go towards buying Lewis's Maserati back.
Poor Lewis needs a Maserati to go with his Ferrari.
I do, I mean, yeah.
I know.
He needs reliable cars.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, that's the MC drive. I mean, you know, if you contribute towards it, I'll take you for a drive in it or something. That's fine. Been a pretty rocky start to our road trip.
At least it has got a name though, rather than just a number.
That's true. It has got a number as well.
Oh, good.
Welcome everybody to episode 6 of the iGNiTiON podcast. This week we're back to our usual lineup. We had Ollie obviously last week because Chris wasn't very well, but he's back with us. He's still not great, but he's soldiering through, so it's very brave and commendable of you, Chris. Thank you for joining us. So as normal, our week in cars, I don't know what everyone's been up to. Phil, do you want to start us on this one?
Well, normally, I don't mind starting. Good evening, both of you. Normally I have quite an interesting week in cars, but this week's been particularly dull, just messing about with my own cars, getting winter ready mostly, servicing, wheel bearings, the odd OPF delete out the M2, and putting right major bodges on my most recent purchase, which is a box stock, which I think we mentioned last week. It's got so many things wrong with it that have been badly done. I can't believe that car is safe to drive. And it has 12 months MOT. So that's, I can't even put it up for sale if I wanted to because it's just too bad.
I heard it was the guy you bought it from's best mate that sort of was responsible for
I've no idea who's worked on it, but I think it was a blind man with a stick and a rusty 13 match on it.
Really good brake lines.
Good brake lines.
Good, Phil? Or?
Pardon, Ed?
Brake lines are good, or?
The brake lines are fine, yeah.
It'll definitely have good brake lines on it, there's no doubt.
That is one job that's been done very well, actually.
I would say
it's just a shame they hadn't bothered bleeding the system properly.
I would say that you've got quite a good buy there, haven't you? It's very reasonable.
It's going to be a very fun car. I've got a couple of plans for it. I've already got rid of the exposed cords, which are great for like traction, and put some new tyres on the back. That's made a big difference to its drivability and legality, obviously, as well.
Excellent.
But that has been... No, I've got no other weekend cars.
Okay.
Nothing else, apart from watching the F1 all weekend.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. Hold that thought.
Okay.
Hold that thought. Ed, have you been up to much in cars?
Unfortunately, I got gazumped on a deal on a S2000. Obviously, it buys me a bit of time to get something else.
So who outbid you?
No one. The seller in question decided he wanted to keep the car. As I think.
Had you shook on the deal, Ed?
I think, had we shook on the deal? We definitely agreed it.
You went off round the corner and you shook something, but I don't know exactly what happened. But yeah.
Unfortunately, he decided he wants to keep it. So. Which is understandable. It's a good fun car. So,
well, I don't think Johnny watches this, so we can talk about him in really horrible terms if we like. So that's fine because he definitely doesn't watch it, does he? So
he's not really.
He's not a trustworthy individual. Don't get any work done by him.
I think you might work on that Porsche, actually, Phil.
The irony of this situation for people who don't know us all very well is that Ed talks about buying cars all the time and never actually buys them. He'd once agreed to do a deal and then the other guy backed out. Like, what? I can't believe it. Johnny, you've ruined it.
Buy it another year to do anything, doesn't it, Lewis?
So. No, yeah, that's right, that's it. Ed's going to be sending me cars he wants to buy for the next 2 years again.
And look how upset you got about the clapped out Mini you sold to me. when I sold it on to some other sucker.
I didn't give a shit for that. I just wanted it out of my life.
What about you, Chris? I know you've been quite poorly, haven't you? But so you've probably not done a lot in cars.
Yeah, I managed the F1, but I think that's probably about it. And a bit of, as I say, the car for the challenge, I rather fancied. I couldn't afford, but I still rather fancied it.
So you had some fun doing it.
But it got sold. It's been sold before I even got a chance to even. So I've had to go for a slightly lesser option.
Okay, very good. What have I done in cars? Well, a couple of things. I spent most of Saturday afternoon sat on the sofa watching car YouTube, and I've become addicted to Auto Alex videos, so that's part of it. I finally washed the Ferrari because it's been off being repaired, and then brought it back, and we went for a little drive. So the first time I washed it in ages, and it's funny, that car, and I think it's a classic car thing, that it's the biggest difference between being clean and not, and my perception of it. Like, when it's clean, that car looks spectacular. It really does. In green, the way the metallic sort of reflects and everything, and the condition of it really shows through. When it's a bit mucky, it looks like an old banger. And I don't know what it is about classic cars, but that's sort of how they are. I think it's because you sort of perceive old cars to be in a bit of a rough state, maybe. I don't know. But, I mean, do you feel the same, Phil, about yours when it's...
I do. I've cleaned one prior to tonight's
well, that's
show.
very, very commendable. So that's... But, yeah, that's part of it. I've also got a bit of car conundrum going on at the moment, because I bought this Alpha 147 GTA I've been talking about a little while ago. I kind of bought it thinking I was going to use it for a trip down to Spain. Cam belt came off, and I ended up buying another car and going to Spain in that, and then didn't really think I had much of a use for it. So I thought I'd sell it. Someone I knew was interested in it, so we sort of, I'll sell that, that's cool. And then I wasn't sure what was going to happen or anything, and now they sort of confirmed they want it, which is great, because when somebody wants to buy a car, I'm always happy to sell it, because I enjoy different cars. But I'm a bit of a...
And a deal's a deal, isn't it?
A deal's a deal, You'd have to be, a proper scumbag to go back, wouldn't you, on a deal? So, anyway, so I'm at a predicament, really, because I don't really need another car, but the Ferrari is not usable for most of winter. It's not a car you should drive when there's salt on the road, and you don't, because it looks so cack as well when it's mucky, you just don't want to do that. I've not been enjoying the 4C much. I'm struggling to get in and out of it because I've still got a bit of a bad back, and I kind of want something to play with in the winter so that we can go out for a drive still. So I'm sort of umming and ahhing buying something, so we'll think about that. And then other car news, well, there's two parts to this. I had to go in a GT3 today. First time I've ever driven a GT3, actually. A guy from iGNiTiON, who stores it there, said he'd just taken it for MOT and come back, and because it was already mucky, he was like, do you want to go for a spin? So we went for a spin. It's a 991.1, I think, GT3 PDK. Brilliant engine, really, really special engine. And I thought, I can see the appeal of this now. But it's still got the sort of 911 thing, which on a more modern one, I'm not sure if it's something that is good or bad for me, really. It feels very normal when you're just driving down the road, and I just feel like for a toy car, I just want it to feel a bit more special when you're not hooning it. Basically, when you're on it, it felt, race engine, all that kind of thing, spectacular. But when you're not hooning it, it was sort of a bit normal. And I know that's what people like about them, but most of the time when I'm driving it, I'm not hooning it. So I want it to feel special when it's, when you're not at 9,000 RPM as well. That's probably my only criticism. But apart from that, I thought it was very good. I know this is a long My Week in Cars, but anyway. The other thing is, this is probably a good discussion to have. I mean, something we thought about a lot at iGNiTiON for a while is mixing up a bit and how we can expand the business, the money pit, whatever, whichever way you want to look at it.
Your charity.
The charity, iGNiTiON charity, And, we've got ramps, we've got a workshop, we've got space there. We've thought quite a few times about doing a bit of garage work, having a garage set up. And people watching this won't know, but we did actually trial this before. we tried to set up a type of car garage, I suppose, prior to Ignition as it is now, and it was called Ignition, but it lasted for half of one car because our first customer was Ed. And his car was so terrible that the mechanic quit halfway through it.
Was it the clapped out
Phil
Mini
still
that
bought
sold
it.
to me?
It was the clapped out Mini.
So we bought all the
That Mini probably owed, between me and Lewis, it probably owed us 10 grand. So your 1,500 quid or whatever you paid was a bargain.
Yeah. It broke our mechanic halfway through the first job. I think he literally pushed it onto the road and asked you to collect it, didn't he?
Well, Chris fixed it.
He did. Well done, Chris. Jen.
Thank you, Chris.
But yeah, so we kind of abandoned that at that point in time, just because I realised it's so important for who you get and all that kind of thing. But an opportunity's come up again to employ someone who's got a good reputation and has got experience in a lot of experience in Porsches, has got experience in Maseratis, Alfa Romeos, Ferraris, from a main dealer and independent specialist level, going right back to proper classics. So he's an older guy, but very experienced, and he's looking for something else to do. Maybe get him along with a trainee and see if we can get some interest in it. So it's something we're looking at. We're not 100. We've still got things to figure out and all of that. But it'd be interesting to have some feedback from our two viewers. As to whether that's something they think is a good idea, it's something people would be interested in having, not only coming for cars and coffee, but also having their car worked on or serviced by us will be very reasonable rates to start off with. So that's just a new venture potentially, and I'm always excited by something like that. So, but I won't be going into competition with Phil, obviously, who is the pro garage guy. We're just hobbyists, really. Bit of fun.
But we meant turds. We just keep turds on the road. We don't do anything classy as such.
I reckon there's probably an easy element of people's cherished toys to work on. That should not be too bad, should it? But we'll see. You might see me going grey really quickly in the next year, but we'll see. But I think Ed's also going to send one of his beloved cars
sending something to you.
put our new mechanic through trials again to see if he quits.
There's always some shitbox for you to fix.
It'll be a good test. So anyway, that's all we can cast. So speaking of Ferraris, first subject point is we're going to have a little bit of a look at Ferrari's website and then have a bit of a discussion as to, some people say that Ferrari have lost the plot, but I don't think so. I don't know about you guys, they're Ferrari, they know what they're doing. So let's have a quick look at their website. I'm just going to share my screen and you guys can see, we'll talk through it. Can you see that okay? So I think can you all see Ferrari's website now?
Yeah.
So Ferrari, a car brand as we all know it, sounds great. But there's a little bit of a, if you go into this section of their website, and let's just go and have a look and see what they do for men. And I personally find a lot of this undefensible, or indefensible is the term, isn't it? Shiny corduroy shirt, €1,300. I mean,
Good for your man nights, wouldn't it, Lewis?
yeah.
But how does it compare? I mean, how do those prices compare to another? I mean, as you can see, I'm no fashion statement. So how do those prices? I mean, and Phil, how does that compare to a decent shirt price? As in, like, really high-end fashion brand shirt price?
It's a ridiculous price, to be honest, because as you can see, I wear plenty of decent shirts. But this is,
Aside from that one.
I wouldn't pay that. £500 would have to be my limit shirt.
I think if you were to
How much,
buy
sorry?
Gucci or something like that, you might pay that kind of money, Fendi or those kind of brands. But they're all like stupid brands, aren't they? That is well over the top.
Is that not just what Ferrari fashion is then?
Well, let's just have a look through this page before we draw a conclusion of it. So, I mean, there's some very. I'm not sure if that chap's wearing a dress there or not in that picture. $2.5
The bomber
grand
jacket's okay
for a
you.
$2.5 grand though for a bomber jacket. I don't know what. It's cotton as well. It's not leather. In Q cycle cotton. So you're paying $2.5 grand for a.
But Lewis, can you remember that car meet we went to Oh, I'm trying to think what car you had at the time. We had the bloke next to us in the Alpine EP.6, and those two young lads turned up in something, and they got out as a fashion statement. Is all I'm going to say. I could quite easily see them buying and wearing this.
I just don't. I mean, 10 grand for a leather blazer. Who's got the? This is the
Somebody
code.
who can afford a Ferrari.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that in a second. But just going through sort of this. So this is £8,900 for.
I mean, that's ridiculous, but
Which is what is that? That's a.
It's an effect. It's not even.
It's a dressing gown.
It's a dressing gown.
Yeah.
It's a merino wool dressing gown. You appear to have a tail with it if you wear it. €8,900, but it does include VAT, so that's the main thing.
So if you were to buy that and bring it back to Europe, surely you would get the 12% is their VAT, isn't it? Off at you technically get that back.
I can't imagine they've got it in stock anywhere. I can't imagine you actually go to a shop and they've got it. Is this all just a joke, or I mean, look at those trousers.
I mean, those trousers and that.
Yeah, look at
Top
them.
Blues on.
This is where AI just comes into its own, doesn't it? When sticking other people's heads on.
But going on to the prices of things there, and we were talking about doing a comparison and have they lost their way with all of it. If you go into, I can't remember what department it's in on their website, there's pens, lifestyle I think it's in, and they've got the Mont Blanc Ferrari pen in there. I don't know if you can get a screenshot of that, and it's at £26,500, which is just ridiculous for one pen. Now I have my own Mont Blanc pen, and my wife has one, which is it's fashioned in the style of Marilyn Monroe's stiletto, and that was just £700. It's still a Mont Blanc pen.
That's £700.
Why is that one worth
a bargain?
£28,500 or £25,500
There we go,
more?
Taylor. Great.
That's the one, yeah. It's got a Ferrari badge on it, so it is just Ferrari tax, isn't it?
How much was it? 27.
£26,500.
Oh, these ones are much more reasonable.
Oh yeah, they're a bargain. They're disposable.
Yeah, so's the envelope at £500.
What? Notepad envelope.
I'm sure this isn't the Apple store trying to sell you a bloody envelope for your MacBook.
My point is, so just if I go back to this stuff,
It's
here,
crazy, but
well, the point that I guess I'm going to is that Ferrari are a car brand that are most heavily associated with motor racing. That's sort of their heritage and their origin, and their USP is all their cars are sort of got some kind of link to motor racing. They're very much about engines. Like that's what I think defines Ferrari from other brands is they make everything in house. I don't see the cross brand link between this and their clothing.
is clothing new to them? Is this
No,
so?
this has been going on for quite a while. This has. So I'll tell you when I first noticed it. They used to have Ferrari stores. There used to be one in London. I don't know if you remember, opposite Hamleys on Regent Street. And you go in.
I've seen them on YouTube. I've never seen them. I've been to one.
You go in there, and there's lots of racing memorabilia. There was bits from F1 engines. There was titanium exhaust systems mounted on plaques for the walls. There was race seats, model cars, prints, posters. Real like stuff. You go in there as a Ferrari or car fan.
Enthusiast.
Yeah, you go in there and think this is really cool. And when I first went to the Ferrari, sort of went to Maranello, I was driving through it. I think it had been 2021 or 19, I'm not sure, something, 4 or 5 years ago. The shop opposite Ferrari in Maranello was the same, and it was full of all that stuff. And you walked in there and it was just like such a cool place, and there's so much stuff I wanted to buy in there. And we went back, didn't we, this year?
Last year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Was it this year? This year.
And it was full of all this nonsense. Now, when did we go to Lake Como first time, Chris, with James and Trevor?
Was it 2019? No, 2021.
So whenever that was the year I noticed it changed, because me and James went to Milan for a day, didn't we? And Florence.
Yes.
And when we were in Milan, we went to the Ferrari store, and it was all full of this nonsense. It wasn't full of, that stuff. So
memorabilia,
it's
whatever.
been 4 or 5 years, because I know some people might jump on the bandwagon, Phil, saying that it's all Lewis Hamilton's fault.
Well, that's what I asked. That's what I asked.
He does wear some ridiculous outfits.
He does. Maybe he chose to go to Ferrari because of the changes. Maybe they did it to impress him. I don't know.
You know how you were just saying about the in the previous era of Ferrari shops, there was toy cars and things for the enthusiasts. Have you not seen the price of a toy car for the children? An 18th scale SF25 for just €8,495.
That's a bargain.
On that website, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
The price is one thing, which I find hugely offensive. The style of it is just another completely. And what I can't work out is how they link, this to their brand of cars. And they think, right, who's the... Did the Ferrari board sit down and be like, right, we need to, expand what we do and get a bit more... I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop sharing my...
It's too obscure, isn't it?
Yeah, there we go. With the Ferrari board sat around a table and thought, right, yeah, we need to expand our brand and, make a bit more money because we don't make enough as it is already. We're only the most profitable car company in the world. And what we're going to do is we're going to start selling some products that people who buy our cars might want to buy, because that doesn't look like it, does it?
But some of that stuff hasn't even got a Ferrari logo on it to make you say, look, I own a Ferrari and here's my logo to prove it.
I don't know.
Well, that T-shirt which had Ferrari on it, you couldn't even read Ferrari on it.
It's very
the
bizarre.
F was so in the background, it looked like it began with an E.
The weird thing is, though, if you own a Ferrari, you're probably not going to buy or wear Ferrari branded stuff, are you? Really, because that's properly.
Bit desperate.
Yeah, but if you don't own a Ferrari, are you going to spend?
You've got Ferrari Y fronts.
but only you get to see them, Phil. So it's not a problem, is it?
Have you got your cup with you today, Lewis?
Sorry. No, I
cup?
don't. No, I'm just on the can. But but people who own Ferraris don't tend to want to wear Ferrari branded stuff. If you don't own a Ferrari and you want to wear Ferrari branded stuff, it's usually because you're a teenager or follow the Formula One team.
Or you sport F1,
yeah, into your cars or whatever.
GT class or something, yeah.
You're not going to spend $8,500 on a woolen coat that doesn't say Ferrari on it. So who is buying that? I don't understand. Is anyone buying it?
Is there any way that we could check who if anyone has bought any of it?
That's a good idea. If any of our 2 watchers have bought one, let us know. That's the only market research we can do. 100% of people watching this podcast have not bought a £8,500 Ferrari woolen coat.
Or a £26,000 pen.
Yes. I don't know. You know how some people, when they get insanely wealthy and their sort of family are all living off of them, they feel like they have to make up some sort of job for them to do to keep them busy. Do you feel like that was like, the cousins or
someone that failed art school or design school?
Yeah, that's right.
Textile.
Yeah. What can we get them to do? They want to design the cars. Have you seen what they wear? No, we can't do that. Let's make them design some clothing. No one will buy it anyway. Oh yeah. Good idea. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. What do you think, Ed? Are you thinking about buying some of it? Or?
No, it looks shit.
Okay. You can tell you've lived up north for a while. So
you can't even buy a car.
I tried, to be fair, Chris.
To be fair, that S2000 was less than that coat.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So just
maybe Johnny saw the prices and that was the problem. So.
Yeah, he couldn't quite afford the coat, and he would love that. He really would.
Yeah, definitely target market.
But speaking of, there was it's not really a new car, is it? There was a car announced this week for Ferrari. Was it SC40? Have you guys seen it?
I have.
Yes.
What do you think?
One of one, though, isn't it?
I've not seen it in person. No one's ever going to see it in person. I think it's only ever going to be in a museum or in a collector's collection. It's not special enough either, I don't think. I can see the F40 connotations in it, but you can see 296 a lot more. But it's definitely 296 with only having a V6. I think really if they'd wanted to do homage to the F40, they should have at least gone down the V8 route with it. The only thing I think is a genuine homage is the seat construction, which is carbon Kevlar, which is quite sort of 80s, 90s retro style, isn't it?
They've put some Kevlar trim, haven't they, inside around the engine bay and stuff, to try and make it look a bit more like the F40. But
it's still a 296 for the body kit, and it's only one of one.
I mean, it's an interesting
somebody's personal taste, isn't it? Really, if it's one of one, designed by the customer for an exorbitant amount of money.
I think it's an interesting one, what you were talking about with the clothes, because obviously the clothes are pretty questionable. But I was having a look at their website earlier on today, and I was skimming through the cars, and the only Ferrari I actually thought was a nice looking car was the Amalfi, which I think is one of their sort of lowest end cars, isn't it, at the moment? I think apart from that, they're all slightly questionable to look at, aren't they? They're not beautiful, are they?
I think a well-spec'd 296 is a pretty car.
It's not beautiful, though, is it? I mean, when you look at some of the classic Ferraris of the years, I don't think it's ever going to be remembered in the same light as some of them.
It's a generic thing, isn't it, really?
The 12-cylinder, or however you're supposed to pronounce it again. Yeah, still not a beautiful car, is it? I mean, it's an interesting car. It's a Ferrari which holds some appeal to me, but I don't think it's beautiful.
No. The Amalfi, which is the Roma replacement, isn't it? That is actually a classically beautiful shape. I don't know if you saw our friend, hello one and all, welcome to see he did a video on the Ferrari Roma and why are they so cheap, because they're like cheap. Why are they such good value? They're just over 100,000, I think, for a Roma, and you think that's a really pretty car with a good engine, 4 seats ish. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, my perspective on it is obviously we've had a Testarossa last month, and now we've got an F40. Are they like desperately trying to work out why no one wants to buy their cars at the moment? And their sort of response to that is to go to their back catalogue. But my problem with the Testarossa was that you can't make a new Testarossa every other year, can you? And as they've done a bit of a cack job of it, that's it for quite a while. And I'm now a bit worried. You can't really, the F40 is arguably their most iconic car.
And that's what they came up with as well.
Have they used that now? Can they now not do an F40 rebadge because they've done it on a one-off for somebody? And I mean, it doesn't have 3 exhausts at the back, which I was quite disappointed at, because that's like, what are the iconic things from F40? It's the rear wing for me. The 3 exhausts out the back. Knacker ducts is the other thing. The F40's got knacker ducts everywhere. This hasn't got that.
It's got things to look like knacker ducts, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, but they're just like slots and things. They're not the shape of a knacker duct. And Kevlar obviously is a big part of it. Twin turbo, which it has got, to be fair to it. But yeah, it's a dressed up 296. No,
simply.
I think
it looks like something from Oblivion, the film Oblivion or something. It's just not got. But that's like a lot of their cars now. You could almost look at them and they'd look like something on the front of a Lego box.
Yeah.
If progression and evolution is part of their ethos, then surely doing a retro or a remake of the F40 is not the way to go, because they've already got the F80, which is like the evolution of the F40, the F50, isn't it? And the F60. So I was going to say, the numbers normally go up. It
doesn't really make sense for numbering system.
It's anniversary years, isn't it? It's the F40 was 40 years and the F80 is 80 years. So that's where that comes from. So really, the F80 is the new F40. That's the truth, isn't it?
Yeah. The evolution of.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think the like the LaFerrari and the Enzo, they were F something, weren't they? But they just got given other names as well. They had, I think one of them was 60, was it? And one of them was 70.
Was it the LaFerrari that was the 60 anniversary?
I think the Enzo would be 60, because the F50 was obviously mid-90s, wasn't it? So I would guess the Enzo must have been the F60.
So the LaFerrari is perhaps the 70.
Yeah. And then this is the F80 what we've got now. That makes sense, but something along those lines. Yeah. But it's a little bit worrying that they haven't, that's my opinion on it anyway, that it's a car like the F40 is a special thing, isn't it? And they've used their bottom of the range car and just put some trim on it, and I don't know, it looks a bit rubbish. Nothing appeals to me. I sat in a Honda Civic Type R last week, the new one, current shape, and sat inside it. It's got red, like racing seats, red carpets, really nice, good quality feeling dash and steering wheel. You hold it in your hand, feels great, and manual gearbox with a real, nice. And I thought, this is how I'd like a new Ferrari to feel. To be honest, it felt like analog but modern. And had the older Ferraris from the 90s that I sort of grew up with always had red carpets, and it just felt very much of that sort of era. And I don't know, I've sat in a few of the latest Ferraris and seen them and stuff. None of them really, you don't really look at the interior and think wow. Whereas I remember looking at a 90s Ferrari with the cream seats and the red carpets and the red seatbelts and stuff, just thinking wow, that's so cool. But maybe
somebody else that was reviewing the SC40 has likened it to the Honda NSX. So maybe that's where they get their inspiration from.
Yeah.
Or the wardrobe design department.
Yeah, it's not a great move, is it? So anyway, moving on from that one then, we just talked about seats and interiors actually. So, we're going to talk about what our favourite seats in cars are. And I talked about this to the guys at work today, and they thought we were going to talk about child safety seats, which maybe we are, I don't know. That wasn't sort of my idea for the conversation. But I mean, for me, it's quite a big deal in a car interior, what the seat looks like, but also how it feels. There's, and it can really change the interior. I'll give an example of something that I is a real sort of travesty, like a sleeker GT4, a Group A rally car, mid-90s. The seats on it just look like any other Celica, really. You look inside and it looks really sort of rubbish, but then you get something like a Honda Integra Type R of the same era, and you've got those red Recaro seats, and it transforms the whole, the whole theatre of the inside of the car. So they're both quite bland Japanese interiors of cars, but it's amazing the difference a seat can make. So what do we think? Who wants to talk about seats first? Anybody?
I'll get mine out of the way if you
want.
want.
Then. Get your seat out of the way.
I've got two seats I want to go, both from, probably from very similar eras. One I had lots to do with, which was when I was a teenager, and probably never actually fitted to a proper car. But the Sega Outrun amusement arcade seat, that was absolutely brilliant. I could spend hours in it. It was genuinely comfortable, genuinely supportive, because it's got a little bit of movement on those things, and not like modern day simulators, but it was still, for me, a fantastic memory of all my pocket money, all my Saturday job money went into Sega Outrun machines. Wherever I could find one, I would spend the rest of the day there.
You seem to
so
have
that would be my first seat.
I was going to say, you seem to have quite a bit of spare pocket money at the moment. Why don't you buy a Sega console for Ignition?
Yeah.
Sorry, you weren't quiet then. My other seat, the other seat I've always liked, even before I owned this thing behind me,
is your camping chair.
Is the what?
Your camping chair you're in now.
My camping chair. I love my camping chair, yeah. But that's a chair, not a seat. There's a difference, isn't there?
Oh, okay.
Well, a chair has legs, a seat doesn't. So the Tombstone seats in Pasha, which is like the checkered flag style, very supportive, very just befitting of the car, even though it's very 70s. It's a comfortable seat. As you all know, I've been to Sardinia in it. It's a 3,000-mile round trip, and it was fine. And I don't think these have been reconditioned or refurbished since the car was new. So they're 47 years old. So that's my choice of seats, is the Porsche and the Sega Outrun.
They're blue, aren't they, the seats in the in your Porsche, which is quite unusual.
They're disappointingly blue pleather. They're not actual leather. I'm having them redone over the winter in a proper leather. A genuine dead animal is going to be turned into my interior.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not alive, at least.
Very good. So weren't the Sega Outrun seats blue as well?
No, I was at my back to them.
No. Well, I think they were blue.
But yes, they were, yes. They had blue accents, didn't they?
Yeah. I always liked the Ferrari 355 Challenge game. And I guess when was that out? 95, the Ferrari 355. So I would have been like 8. And I remember going on holiday with my parents. We'd always go on the ferry across to France, and they always had a 355 Challenge game on the ferry and they still have it on some of the DFDS ships, because I think that was DFDS was Sea France, I think, wasn't it? I know. And you still go in there, and I'd love to buy that one off that ship, because there's a good chance I sat in it as a kid. I thought that would be quite cool. But anyway, if any of our 2 customers happen to work at DFDS can get me that, and for like, I don't know, a couple £100, then yeah, I'll have it. Okay, Chris, have you got a favourite seat?
Well, we were discussing off air. I think the Maxi Comfort would probably be my first choice.
Yeah.
But
what
in
age
terms of
group's that
seats,
for? Is it rear facing?
pretty much, yeah. If I can sleep while everybody else drives. But the probably going back would probably be, and we've discussed it before, but would probably be a set of Vaders, so BMW Vaders. But also, from a normal aspiration, would actually be a Saab 9.3. Probably one of the most comfortable, just normal car seats I've ever sat in. Most other car seats I've had to adjust, but Saab seats for some reason were just absolutely perfect, and probably always would have been. So I'd quite actually like some chairs almost made out of Saab seats, so they're that comfortable.
Saab did make good seats, that's true. Okay. Vaders are on my list, actually, which for anybody who doesn't know, they're from an E36 BMW M3 coupe. Leather or cloth?
I'd actually probably go cloth, actually, in terms of comfort.
I love the cloth ones. It's one of my top seats, because I think they had Alcantara round the edge, didn't they?
Yeah.
Cloth centre with like the M colours.
Problem is, you'd have to probably get them redone nowadays. So I don't think any of them would ever last. The leather might have done.
Yeah.
But
yeah, well, they're probably, an E36 M3 from the 90s. Probably quite a few people have soiled themselves in those seats, haven't they? So you want to get the seat base done at least, I would say. What about you, Ed? Have you got a favourite car seat?
I wrote down a few. One of them's already been said, which was the Tombstones in old 911s with a Pasha interior. I think that's peak seat. I really like the sort of simpleness of the S1 Elise seats with like the aluminium frame. I think that's a really cool seat, especially with the sort of uncomfortable. I just love the lightness, stripped outness with the aluminium floors in the Elise. I think it's a really cool look. Opposite end of the spectrum, I think standard Ferrari 360 with the tan interior. I think those seats are absolutely stunning in tan. And my final one, probably doesn't surprise members of this group, is the seats in an NA Mazda MX-5 with the speakers in the headrests. I think they're cool seats.
What about seat colour? I particularly like the colour of the GTA that Lewis was talking about earlier. It's got the like tobacco colour, don't they, inside?
Tobacco centres,
Do like that colour.
Those seats are brilliant. I think that's like the 147 GTA with the tan centres. I think it's the nicest interior of any hot hatch, is what I would go out there to say. It feels so plush inside for a hot hatch. It's really, I know there's ones with probably more extreme seats, like proper Recaros, some of the Renault Sports and things like that, but it's one of the other cars I've got listed on here. I think that the 147 GTA seats is sort of knocking off, and that's the original Maserati Bora. And that's why original, there wasn't two. Not the Volkswagen remake, I guess. But
that was sports car then.
It's not it's the slower Maserati one. But if you've ever seen the seats, I'll put some pictures up of the Maserati Boras. They're like a deck chair, and they've got sort of not quilted, but fantastic centres, and you can have the centre in like the tan and the sides in the black, like the 147 GTA, and they've got that kind of same stitching style and everything, but they're almost like a sun lounger as a car seat. And I think because it was that Citroen era, rather than adjusting the seat, the pedals and the steering wheel came towards you hydraulically, so the seat was sort of in a fixed lounge position, and I just look at it and think it's probably incredibly uncomfortable because it was made for someone who's 5 foot tall, but it looks awesome. So they're on my list, which is funny, links into the 147. Vaders, as Chris has said, they're on there. I love the seats in the Lancia Delta Integrales. That material and the stitching they use, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a rainbow star. I can't remember what it's called exactly, but that's really cool. Me and Phil, though, I think saw my favourite seat of any car last week at the Classic Motor Hub, and
we did.
It's a seat from an 70s Alfa Romeo, or it might be late 60s. I think it was late 60s. It's the 105 series, but it was the 1750 GTV specifically. And they had a seat that's got sort of, I'll put a picture up again, but like got separate wings with a gap down the side from where your sort of the bolsters are to an open back. It's got basket weave leather on it, and they look like a classic bucket seat, but the top part of the seat, which is sort of flat and looks part of it, lifts out and becomes a parcel shelf as it goes up. But when it's down, it looks like a classic sort of bucket seat again. It's really, really cool. They're worth a lot of money now. They're like the seat to have in those Alphas, and I've not had one yet. That's sort of on my dream list of seats to have. And maybe a special mention for the F40 because they've got nice seats, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Phil's asked if we can talk about Formula One, which I'm sure will thrill Ed because you're a huge fan, aren't you, Ed?
Yeah, I love it.
Ed's going to make a cup of tea for this section. Do you want to talk
I'm just going
about?
to turn my camera off now. Bye.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the F1 season this year, Ed? What's your insights?
I know. I googled this, so I can give you something. I'm happy to say that Lewis Hamilton is in sixth. McLaren seems to be doing pretty well. That's the end.
I think that's all you need to know, actually. Yeah. Well, I would say, I mean, I enjoy Formula One, but I think Chris and Phil are probably the two biggest Formula One fans on this group. So do you guys want to talk about that?
Well, the only reason I wanted to bring it up was because of what's been going on, particularly this weekend at Texas, because it seems like Max has really found his mojo again. And I know at the beginning of the season he wasn't doing so well and all that, but he overcame all the adversities and all the problems with not having the best car on the track. Obviously, McLaren probably still do have one of the best cars on the track. They've definitely got the pace. They've got all the little tricks going. They've never had a bad car this year. But Max has just shone through once again and seems to be, dare I say this, having a William Hill bet on it, outshining the McLaren team on his own, because he doesn't really have a teammate, does he? Sonoda's just a bloke in another Red Bull car that's not doing a lot. He did get some points this week in Austin, but I think
that's only because he avoided all the chaos and drove over somebody's wing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I just think with what's going on internally with McLaren, that's causing problems with the championship. They're not going to get a championship driver if they carry on with all the squabbling and showing favouritism, with Zach Brown in particular showing favouritism to Dudar, what's his name, Lando.
Yeah, Lando, yeah.
And one other thing before I hand over to Chris is I want some of what Martin Brundle is on, because he will still say when he sees Hamilton coming up to 10th position, and he looks like he's back in a championship race now, and you think, how is he? He's not been on the podium this year. He's done nothing.
Well, he's the longest Ferrari driver not to have a podium, isn't he?
Yeah.
Number of races.
Well, they said it was going to break records, didn't they? So that's
because it's 19. Is it 19 races now? He's gone beyond.
Yeah,
without podium.
And it's like 50 years since someone else did that with Ferrari.
Yeah.
And it was that record was then broken by Niki Lauda, I believe.
All right.
Yeah, he's not doing what Ferrari had hoped, does he?
But it seems that Horner leaving Red Bull seems to have settled them, and they seem a lot calmer team at the moment, which I think has obviously helped Max. Max is on point, and for some reason, McLaren have fallen a bit by the wayside. The fact that Mercedes, they're supposedly gone into circuits which were more favourable to them, and in fact they were worse off. Even
you're saying about Horner leaving and going to Aston Martin. What about Stroll finishing in the points this week? Or did he finish in the points? No, I think but he was very close. He did well. He didn't crash, basically.
But he did hit somebody in the first corner, I think.
Yeah.
He drove into the back of somebody in the first corner, but got away with it, I think.
I thought that was Alonso.
No,
Alonso just got taken out.
Yeah.
By the McLaren.
Got punctured, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just change direction and not worry about any other cars in the first corner. But yeah, it was an interesting race at times, actually. But again, you could see Max, once he was out in front, he was always going to win.
From a business point of view, what do you think about the favouritism with Norris in the McLaren team?
Well,
Because he does seem to be favoured, even though a lot of people have said that Piastri is definitely the better driver.
I think
he probably is, and he handles the pressure better than Lando.
You can crack Norris like a walnut, can't you? When he's under pressure.
I think that Norris, McLaren, they're an English company. Like most people when we working there are going to be English. I think there's an element of natural racism going on there, that people want the English guy, the Brit, to win, and he's been there longer, so they think he sort of earned it more. I think because he's been through when they didn't have a good car. But I mean, the point I would raise is that the younger guy who's walked in the door is beating you. So that's what it's about.
I'm not being inverted racist here at all, Lewis.
No, well, you're
from
not.
From a business point of view, if you get a new employee and he's better than a previous employee, you're not going to hold him back and not let him grow your business because he's younger and newer to the business.
Yeah.
You're going to reward him accordingly.
And they'll lose the Drivers' Championship the way they're going.
Yeah.
Well, they might lose drivers as well who don't want to drive for them, and in the future, because they've done what Ferrari were always renowned for doing, which was putting the manufacturer's title first and not really caring then about the drivers. But I wrote a few
I'd love to read some of their contracts and actually understand, because we never really know what's in their contract and actually really what they've agreed with the team in a contract, or what can go into a contract in terms of preferential treatment. Because we know at things like at Ferrari, there was second, you always were the second driver, but you were known you were the second driver. But I dread to think what goes into some contracts. Seems they take months and months to.
Surely a second driver should be supporting the first driver, and that's not happening.
They're fighting. They're both in
happening
first.
in Ferrari.
He tried speeding him up in the first corner by giving him a quick shove.
I wrote a few
Ferrari
things down.
couldn't work as a team this weekend either.
Well, they're struggling, aren't they? I wrote a few things down as my summary for the year. So I'm a Ferrari fan, obviously. I love my Italian cars.
It's falling asleep.
It's ends having to play with backgrounds to keep himself entertained.
I thought I got away with it.
It's a hard year as a Ferrari fan because they're just nowhere. They're not doing anything. There was all this hype because last year, for the back end of the season, they were the team to beat, and they only lost out in the championship by a few points coming from nowhere. Their car was the last 7 or 8 races was like the dominant car, wasn't it? And finally it looked like Leclerc was getting somewhere. And they've brought Lewis in this year with huge hype. Everyone's talking about it, massive fanfare. Their stock prices rocketed, didn't they? And then, it's pretty aware now that they should have absolutely kept Sainz, who was a really good team partner to Leclerc. Them two together were the strongest duo on the track, I think.
They worked so well together.
They were really good. They didn't have egos. They're both fast. They supported each other when the other one would win. That it was really, really good. And I think if they carried on and were developing the car well together, they could be a different place now. So that's hard to watch. Papaya rules, as you guys have talked about, has been all over the news, and how McLaren's doing. But the biggest thing I've noticed this year in Formula One is that we've all stopped hating Max Verstappen. So,
I've never hated him.
Well, I know, but a lot of people hated Max last year and the last few years, and it's easy to hate on the guy who's in by far the fastest car. Well, I don't know if it's just that, but he was in by far the fastest car, and he was finishing races like 10 minutes ahead of everyone else, wasn't he? And it was boring to watch, to be honest. And it's like everyone's like, oh, well, he's got the fastest car. He was always a lot quicker than his teammate, but it was still always 1-2, wasn't it? He would be winning, and Perez would come second or whatever, and that's how it was for quite a long time. And then the cars got gradually worse. He kept winning. Perez was struggling with it, and then they've changed the drives around a couple of times. But what's been really interesting to watch is a guy who is clearly on a different league to everyone else on the track, in the 4th best car, still winning races, and that's made it properly interesting. So Ed, I know you're bored to death with F1, but it's worth watching purely for Max, who is one of the best drivers ever in Formula One.
I think he's the best driver any of us have ever seen.
Probably
because he's proved it.
No, Senna was. Well, Senna's dead. He wasn't that good, was he?
Controversial, yeah.
But he's done it in other classes as well. He's done
Yeah.
it across, and he's even.
So
I mean,
if Max
even in
now
sim
dies,
racing,
I'd
he
have to watch
manages
it now.
to.
If I died in a car crash, people would say I was not a very good driver, wouldn't they? So it's kind of fair enough, I guess.
James Dean isn't given the accolade of being a fantastic driver. He died in a car crash. Nicky Lauda lost half his head. You know, he's not given that accolade.
I think he was quite a good driver, to be fair. But no,
Very good, but
Max
when he was
is
alive.
just, when you're good and you're in a fast car and you're winning by miles, it looks easy and you get a bit cocky, I guess. When you're struggled for half the season and you're in car number 4 and you're still winning races, that's skill, isn't it? So I've got a lot of respect for him, which I didn't have the last few years. So that's my thing on Formula 1. Before Ed dozes off, though, we probably should move on to another subject. So
I'll watch a race. There you go.
did you?
No, I will.
Oh, you will.
I will
watch
watch a race. There you go.
Good. I mean,
I've got a £300 bet on Max winning the Drivers' Championship.
You can take us out for a nice meal then, because it's guaranteed pretty much at the moment.
Phil took me out for a nice meal at the weekend. Maybe he was. Maybe it was.
I was practicing.
Yeah, I think he was after something personally. But he got
Yeah, but you got your wife with you.
Okay, so last week we had Ollie on filling in for Chris, and I thought I'll get him to do the car challenge for our fancy road trip. Now, he's not really chosen a road trip. That's all I'll say. So he kind of failed from the start-off point. But it's very on theme for Ollie and conversations he likes to talk about. So I've got it here on my phone. So I'll read you the challenge. And what we've done is we broke it down over the 4 of us again rather than 3. So we've split the up to £100,000 categories in £25,000 segments. So this is what Ollie sent me. He said, collectively, you've started an illegitimate business, a flourishing after-hours logistics operation. You need to move high-value, time-sensitive cargo between Bradford and Birmingham late at night. Speed matters. If you want a car that will settle into effortless high-speed cruising on the motorway, but still has a bit of agility to dart off onto rural B roads when being pursued by the authorities. It's also your daily driver, so it needs to look the part to maintain your overly flashy image. I'm picturing the person in my head who he might be talking about. Lastly, you've got young kids, so rear seating is preferable. He's chosen a 2010 Bentley Continental Supersport. Why? Well, it's an old school Grand Tourer with true top end speed, plenty of motorway authority, but the Supersport's tuning gives it sharper responses that you wouldn't expect from a heavy Bentley. It's got carbon ceramic brakes to slow all that mass down, a stiffer chassis and a powertrain that will happily make dozens of motorway miles feel effortless. Being the Supersports, it has the gorgeous carbon fibre bucket seats, as shared with the Bugatti Veyron, meaning that the rear seating is swapped out for an enormous parcel shelf, turning the car into a 2-seater with a combined luggage capacity that rivals some estates, over 600 litres apparently. I'm surprised there's rear luggage capacity details on a Bentley Supersport, but there we go. Very handy for big overnight hauls, and for day-to-day, it's a Bentley. You're going to get noticed. It might not have rear seats, but given your disregard for the law, you probably see no issue with chucking your kids onto the parcel shelf. The lateral carbon fibre strut brace should stop them going through the windscreen in the event of an abrupt police stop. So, very Ollie. So thanks for that. So he's given us different price categories. We usually start from low to high, but let's start from high to low this time, just to mix things up a bit. So Phil, you had £75,000 to £100,000 for a illegitimate logistics business. I don't know what you need to, I suppose, choose what we're moving. I can set the scene for what we're moving. I have had to write it down, but the business that we've set up, because we're in the public domain at the minute, I thought I'd have a business moving computer hard drives that have been seized from Prince Andrew,
people that have been putting hurty words onto the internet. And as I'm sure all aware, 12,000 people have been imprisoned this year for using hurty words. If I could just explain just for clarification, hurty words. These are words or statements that 30 years ago were acceptable in everyday conversation, but are now not tolerated by the band of wet weekend keyboard warriors that virtually run the country. So
how have you not been arrested, Phil? That's what
I was going to say, Phil.
After this broadcast, you may well do.
They're going to smash through that door behind him.
We've got a guy who's in the warehouse with all these hard drives with hurty words on them.
Right.
And he's realised there's a market for them, and that is us. So we're going to get them, but they've got to be moved through the night because obviously we don't want these words escaping and hurting anybody. We've got to get them safely from Bradford to Birmingham, where we've got another contact that's going to send them to non-woke countries that don't really give a shit about who they offend. It's going to be full of homophobes and Islamophobics, really pleased to get our hard drives and free up these hurty words. So the car I've chosen to do it is probably not as exciting as the business venture. It's a Lexus. It's a big Lexus. It's the I've got it written down somewhere. I've even lost what car I've got.
LC500, is it?
It is the LC500, but it's a Sport Plus V8, so it's 500 horsepower. It does have rear seats, so you can take the little cherubs out with us. Flappy paddle gearbox, carbon ceramic brakes. I don't know the boot literage capacity, nor do I care.
How many hard drives can you get in it, do you think?
I get thousands in there.
Right.
And with its top speed nearing 200 miles an hour, I can outrun almost anything and get the goods there in the nick of time.
Not going to break down?
It won't break down because it's Japanese. It's Lexus, posh Toyota, fancy Toyota, whatever you want to call it.
How much is it?
This one's, I bought a second-hand one. It's 3 years old and just £77,000.
And what's the price sort of range on those? Do you know how cheap and how expensive you can get them for?
Well, the cheap ones are down at like just over 50. So,
really?
you know, we could have had a cheaper one, but I wanted a slightly flashy one. I've gone for one in a stealth green because although we should maintain our flashy image throughout the whole of this, sometimes you just want to blend in with the mundane, and green is the car for that. Green is the colour for that.
You're so true.
You can blend in. Nobody notices. You're just going about your business. You've got the little cherubs in the back. You've been doing the school run in safety and with speed.
It's an interesting car, that Lexus, because I've paid zero attention to them, but occasionally see them thinking, I wonder what they're like, but I've then never bothered to even read the stats on them.
They make a fantastic noise as well. Yeah, it's almost like a proper V8, you know. They burble like an American V8.
It's like a left field choice, isn't it? That is. If you bought one of those as like that's a left field choice in comparison to like a 911 or something, isn't it? That's quite interesting.
Well, I mean, I thought the obvious choice, if we were doing an illicit business for, I don't know, something...
Is going for a Wii?
Involve drugs or
I'm sending a text message.
Oh, okay. It was just his face was like... I'm sorry.
If we were drug dealing or organ smuggling or anything like that, then obviously you'd go for the BMW XM or the M5 Touring or something. Range Rover Sport. You know, they all like a bit of that, don't they? But I thought I'd go for something a little bit more classy than your typical drug dealer outfit.
To be fair, he didn't say what our illegitimate business was, but from it being Birmingham and Bradford, I could make assessments. I would just like to say as well, I do worry about what's on your hard drive, Phil. So yeah, you need to be.
I've not had mine seized or confiscated yet.
Hurty words are the least of your worries. So, Chris, were you the next price category?
I was 25 to 50.
Oh, it's Ed, is it? Go on, Ed. So what have you bought?
So I had 50 to 75. And yeah, I bought nothing. This is my sort of car shopping, Chris. It's imaginary. So it's okay.
This is just a normal conversation with Ed every week.
So I assumed that the illegitimate business should obviously be moving large hauls of drugs from city to city. In my mind, it's only really worth a risk if you're moving cocaine, because obviously it's got a good street value. And I was thinking about films. I was thinking about films with, high-end cocaine dealers in it, and there was obviously one film which springs to mind for everyone, I think, which is Layer Cake. That I think Daniel Craig played a really good part in Layer Cake. So for me, it had been RS6. Obviously, he sort of downplayed his RS6, and I thought, given that I'm probably based in Bradford, for us to be the story to be true, I would go more Bradford spec on mine. So I've managed to find a 20 plate.
What's Bradford spec, Ed?
But a bit more bright. A bit more carbon on it. So I found a bright blue RS6 20 plate. So it's 4 litre TFSI V8 one. It's got an Venturi intake. It's got sort of upgraded exhaust. It's got stage 1 map on it. It's got 22-inch alloys.
Has it got a Boss number plate?
It's not got a Boss number plate, but I've got a 5 spare, so you can probably get one.
I thought all RS6s had a Yum plate on them.
And it's been to one of these companies that sticks bits of carbon fibre all over your cars as well.
The Johnny's company.
And it's obviously a stage 1 move map, which makes it even faster. For standard, it's 592 horsepower, and it's got the performance pack on it, which means top speed's 174. So I thought it'd make it quite a good motorway blatter. But then when you need it in the corners, it's got, like I said, it's got a map, so it's going to be above the 592 horsepower. So as standard, it's 0-63.6 seconds. So it's going to be a pretty quick car, and it's obviously practical as well. So you can take lots of drugs in it. So. Car of choice for me, and blatant enough that you're bound to get pulled or at least get a good chase out of it. So
it's funny how a drug dealer spec RS6 either needs to be like bright purple or orange or something, or matte black and everything black on it. It's funny, it's both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Okay, good choice, I think. Go on then, Chris. What's your drug? I don't know. What illicit thing are you moving? Have you decided? Are you people trafficking?
I hadn't really decided, actually. The only thing I don't think I could move, I could probably move body or parts, but I couldn't move a whole body in mine.
Right.
I don't think the boot's big enough, and I don't really want to get the interior dirty.
Oh, okay.
But I decided on, I had up to 25 to 50k, so I decided on a 456 Ferrari GT. So the V12, 5.5 litre, 198 miles per hour.
Nice.
And I thought it was perfect. I can get, if I need to, I can have the kids in there. I think it's one of the few Ferraris which I think sits under the radar a little bit. It's sort of that sort of quite a soft sort of looking Ferrari.
Ford Pro.
Nice navy blue. The one I wanted sold. I found a high mileage manual, but that's sold before tonight. So I also then managed to find a low mileage auto, which came within the price range. I couldn't believe, I was really quite tempted actually almost to go have a look at one. I think it was about 36,000 for a high mileage manual.
And it seems to be if you definitely won't buy it.
Oh, I don't know.
That's a lot of car for the money, isn't it? A lot of special car.
It seems to be, if they've been looked after, they're fairly safe bets.
I think the 456 is possibly renowned as one of the least reliable Ferraris ever made, I believe. Just because it's early electronics and ECUs and things like that.
Oh, I didn't say the windows would work or anything.
Yeah, you'd probably drive it.
Or the wipers or anything.
You know the director of that Luca film we went to see, Manish Pandey, he has got a 456, and it is discussed on the Chris Harris podcast how regularly it breaks down.
Because when I did some research, actually, some people reckoned actually that somebody's had one, I think, 10 or 15 years, and on average it cost them $2,000 a year to keep on the road.
Well, I think,
but they did say if anything did go wrong, you were talking about 10k.
Yeah.
But if we're in that sort of business, what's 10k?
Well, that's true. It's irrelevant, isn't it? And I think they're one of those cars as well, like most Italian cars, that they're actually all right if they're used. You know, but it's when they sit around.
It's going to be abused.
And the guy who's got one, Manish, they reckon he does 500 miles a year across his whole fleet of cars because he lives in central London and he takes the cab everywhere. So it's probably
just leaks and
everything gets whatever.
But look at the Grand Sport. If that doesn't get used, it costs you more money.
Yeah, absolutely. When I had it, it was fine. Sell it to James, and it's just falling apart. It's not because I timed it well or anything, just because he doesn't use it. Yeah, okay.
How old was your Ferrari, Chris, that you bought the automatic one?
Oh, I think they're nearly 30 years old now.
Early 90s, aren't they?
95 or something, aren't they?
I think they've got really pretty, the 456. I didn't used to like them, and now I think that's a nice car.
Some bigger wheels.
Bigger
As I
wheels.
say, change of wheels would be. But again, money's no option, is it? If we're running that sort of business,
You're probably going to have. I mean, it's probably too classy, to be honest, Chris. But you need to get some spinners for it or something to make it adequate. that would look, that would look right.
That'd be proper bowler.
And the chameleon screen.
Oh yes.
So I've only got £25,000 to spend, the lowest budget, but I've already owned this car. And it was.
We know what it is.
And it was a drug dealer's car as well. So we can talk a little bit about
Heritage is important.
We can talk a little bit about the bad Strad, which is. For those who know, it is a famous car, but for those who don't, it's the story about Strad. So, I like Maseratis. I've had quite a few of them, mainly because I always wanted a Ferrari and couldn't afford one. And Maseratis, you get Ferrari engines in some of them, or a bit of a whiff of it for a lot less money. And I'd always fancied a Maserati Gran Turismo MC Stradale, which is the lightweight special version of the Gran Turismo. It's sort of carbon fibre bucket seats, the same bucket seats you get in an Enzo. No rear seats, roll cage, lightweight panels. It's got a really vicious fast shifting gearbox. I think it's 50 milliseconds from a F1, which is really brutal. And the 4.7 litre later version of that V8 that went in the Maseratis. It's not particularly fast. It's not, you look at it and think, oh, is it a GT3 rival? It's not really. But, experience-wise and everything, the noise and all of that, it really is a really cool car. So I always fancied one, but they're a lot of money. You can buy a normal Gran Turismo for like £15,000-20,000. But if you wanted an MC Stradale, they're 50,000 north, especially for the early ones with the 2 seats, and because they changed them halfway through, so they didn't have the proper carbon bucket seats and everything. So I always fancied one. And 2 or 3 years ago, one came up for sale, and it was it was up for £35,000, which was interesting. So I was like, which is over the budget at the moment. Okay, fine. My budget's 25, but I thought I need to go and have a look at this. I always fancied one. I just sold a car. I can't remember what it was, and I really, fancied. I thought it was worth having a look at. It'd probably be too ropey, but I thought I'd go and have a look. I was looking at F-types as well at the time, so I went to have a look at it. And I've actually made a list of what I observed upon arriving to see this car. So it turns out it was Cat D twice. I've never seen a car that's been written off twice before. But when I did the history search, it had been written off twice. 2 Cat Ds on there, which was a first. The exterior was worse than I could possibly have imagined. The front bumper was hanging off. Scratches everywhere. There were stickers upon stickers everywhere. Everything that was tinted that you could imagine was tinted.
You had tinted headlights on it, didn't you?
It had tinted headlights. Yeah. The rear lights tinted. The wing mirrors were tinted. Like everything you could imagine was tinted. The interior absolutely reeked of smoke and cigarettes. The seats were all ripped. These carbon fibre bucket seats. Interior is absolutely trashed. It had Ling Long tyres on it. All the wheels completely curved. The MC Stradale comes standard with carbon ceramic brake discs. One of them had a big crack right across the brake disc. The registration number was V12 Iraq, which was very unusual. And it had a glove box full of parking tickets. So when you get there and you see this car, you think, yeah. And I was with my friend Andy, who's quite a risk-adverse character, and he was just like, we need to get out of here. It was at a van sales place in like North London. It was sort of tucked around the side of this, with all these vans. And the name on the logbook, shall we just say, it didn't look like a real name. It looked like a name someone had made up. So that's probably the best thing I say about that. So yeah, it was smell. Everything was tired and rattly on it. But I took it for a drive and it kind of drove okay for a test drive. And I come back and did a bit of research. The brake discs on it were £4,000 each. And the brake pads are like £2,000 worth, set of tyres. You start adding this car up and it's going to cost tens of thousands to put right to do it properly. But I had, whilst I sort of was umming and ahhing about the car, I managed to find a different, a ceramic brake disc second hand for like £1,200 just for the one. So I kind of knew that it wasn't going to be that bad. And I told the guys, obviously they're like £4,000 or £5,000 each. So I managed to get the car for £24,000, which is under our budget. That's what I bought it for. And I only had to spend about 20 on it. So 20,000 that is, and could have actually bought a good one. So that was sort of the downside to it. But we nicknamed it the Bad Strad because obviously it had a checkered past. Because it turned out the previous owner was a bit of an interesting one, shall we say?
You got pulled over, didn't you? As soon as you got a normal license plate on it.
Yeah. Well, I drove through. As I was driving home, went through the local town, and as I was leaving the town, I got pulled by the police. Apparently, it set off the ANPR as I was going through the town, and the policeman came over and said, "Oh, it's not your car, is it?" And he obviously saw the comedy name on the logbook when it flashed up on his thing. And he was like, and also you stopped because we've had a look on it and the car had 50 outstanding speeding tickets against it and it had ran from the police 3 times. We actually looked it up online. We found a YouTube video of it being stopped by the police in central London. I think there was at one point a picture of it with a gold wrap on it. Really classy. And then I found another thread. I think it was a piston head thread called crap number plates, where somebody was like, why has it got a V12 number plate on it? It's only a V8. But then somebody on there knew that number plate on another car. I think it was a Mercedes prior to it. And the owner of that car had been involved in children's charity that £1 million went missing through, apparently. So interesting. I think it was, it turns out that the car was also registered just to a block of flats, not an individual flat. So I guess whenever the police turned up to go and arrest who had, keep driving through traffic lights or whatever, they just went to, there's no one there. But anyway, so yeah, that was kind of the Bad Strad, and but I sold it because I'd moved house. But I sold it for a lot less. I only sold it for £20,000 to a good friend Macaulay on the deal that he's got to sell it back to me for that. So that's why I can buy it for under budget, and it's a bargain at that price if you ignore the fact that it owes me probably north of £40,000 in reality. But yeah, it actually was a drug dealer's car, and so I think it fits the brief perfectly. Oh, and one of the other things I've got to mention, Ollie said about the rear seats and not being an issue having your kids on the back. This is a car that has no rear seats, but there were cushions on the bits in the back, so obviously you've been driving around London with people just sat behind the seats holding onto the roll bar or something, I don't know. I mean, you all had a go in that car, haven't you?
We've all driven it, haven't we?
What was your memories of it? Any particular?
Trying to kill me?
It sounded great. It wasn't actually as quick as I expected it to be honest. It's a car which
it was very quick going. No, it was very slow going through customs when me and Lewis went to Spain in it, because we got the steering wheel swabbed with a special little
bet you did.
You can't clean that out. It's on there. I mean, it said it had linglongs on it when I bought it, and was driving home through London, and my friend was with me in the car, and we went. I mean, the car sounds incredible. I think it's the best sounding factory exhaust on any car in the MC Strada. We went through the Hatfield Tunnel, and it was sort of raining. And he was like, wound his window down. He was like, go past. So I dropped it down a few gears and went to go and overtake him. The car just stayed stationary, just spinning the wheels. Like, who puts linglongs on a car like that?
Well, if you remember, I met you near where you used to live, and I had to take it out for a test drive so you could record the audio from it.
Let's put the video
on.
on.
Bloody deer come out.
I'll put the video on
linglongs
now.
On.
Here. Yeah, it was quite funny because when I was talking to the guy who was selling the car, it had all this like Maserati service history where thousands of pounds are spent on it recently. Like one of the invoices showed that it had like $4,000 spent on it last year, and I said, "This is all fake, isn't it?" And the guy was like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, nobody spends $4,000 at a Maserati main dealer on this and then puts linglongs on it, do they? I mean, it's not the same person who does that, really." But he didn't sort of, he didn't respond. And I wasn't sure whether he knew anything about the car really or not. It kind of just, he didn't say no, it's not, or it is fake or anything. He, if you knew it wasn't fake, you'd say no, it's genuine. But I actually called up Maserati and checked, and it had been serviced at the main dealer the year before. Like I say, I suppose money's not actually a problem, but then why did it have linglongs on it?
Well, it's quite simple. When it was being used for its other purposes, they could afford the service. But when they resold it on, that van place put new tyres on it to get rid of it and put those awful things on.
Probably. That's probably an accurate description. But it was an interesting experience. So that's my drug dealer car, an actual drug dealer's car, that I had a lot of fun in and would quite like it back. But unfortunately, I've got a thatched roof to pay for and various other things, so I can't buy a car at the minute. So
Set up a GoFundMe page.
yes, if you want to set up a GoFundMe page, I need to raise £20,000 to buy my
So
MC.
that's 10,000 from each viewer.
I mean, if it's one person, it doesn't need to go GoFundMe page.
Look, we'll put some sad music in the background to make it sort of like only £10 can go towards buying Lewis's Maserati back.
Poor Lewis needs a Maserati to go with his Ferrari.
I do. I mean, yeah.
I know.
He needs reliable cars.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, that's the MC drive. I mean, if you contribute towards it, I'll take you for a drive in it or something. That's fine. Good. Okay. So that's that one. Good challenge, Ollie. Thanks for that. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, well done, Ollie.
Any suggestions from our viewer on what challenge they might want to discuss next week? That would be welcome.
I think the viewer should send in our next challenge with the same structure, the 4 price bands and what we need to do.
Yeah.
Let's open it up.
Yeah.
If any viewer does do it, I think we should, whatever the challenge is, that comes first.
Don't say that. Johnny's going to do it, isn't he?
Yeah, but we see Eco Max, that doesn't count.
All joking aside, Johnny,
it is a joke, Johnny.
Yeah. Sorry for the abuse you've got on this one. Good. Okay. Well, any?
All you have to do is sell me that car.
The price has just gone down £1,000 though. Good. Okay. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we go our separate ways?
Nothing from me tonight.
No, I think we've probably jabbered on for long enough. But thank you all, especially Chris, as you're not feeling well. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate that. And we'll see you all next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Good night.
guys.
Cheers. Bye.